Back. I hope you enjoyed that little blast from the past. It's the State of the Dog 2016. Let's see. Are we? Oh yeah. It looks like we're okay here. Sorry. 20-second lag is getting to me on this device. Anyway, yeah. So that was 2016. We were talking about using all sorts of apps and services to build the online community. Now, almost literally 3 years later, we have All Access Con. Let's see. I guess I need to put this out there that we need to refresh the stage. So I'll just put that into the chat. Okay. Hi, everybody. Please refresh the stage area. Thanks. All right. Okay. Is this working now? Or no? If you can see me or hear me, give me a little text in the chat saying yes or no. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Nobody is saying that they can see me here. So let's see if we need to, I think we're back, okay? Just give me a little shout out in the chat area. Let me know if you can see or hear me. All right. Now the video should be over. Okay. Like I said, I am on a 20-second delay. All right, looks like I am back with you. Perfect. Okay, thank you. And thanks for sticking around after the little intermission there. I hope you enjoyed the blast from the past, the State of the Dog speech from 2016, 3 years now. Let's see what we got here. Right, that's where I was. Whew. We were talking about all sorts of ways to use software and our online setup to build community, right? Okay, so All Access Con. What is that? Well, that is what we're using right now. It is basically going to be a company putting together all sorts of online events using this platform for community building, education, entertainment. What exactly does that do, though? What is our mission? We're trying to reach communities that typically are left out of the event experience. People who, due to mobility, due to resources, due to lack of community outreach by organizers, maybe people who don't attend events anymore because too many harassment problems. Who knows what? We're trying to reach all of them, plus everyone else as well. It's for everyone, all access. And what that looks like in practice is something like this, but it's more than just a webinar, right? We have, let's see, the main stage where we are now. We have the networking area where you can meet and interact with other attendees. We have the sessions area, which we're not putting to use today. But that is something where you can have technically we can have basically an unlimited amount of these sessions going on at the same time, where we have a speaker on screen who can bring on up to 10 other speakers on screen, either to give testimonials, do Q&A, to be co-presenters, and you have an audience of 500 people in that room, which in and of itself is an amazing feature. Typically when you're talking about online webinars and presentations like that, you're dealing with a small number of people. Now, we threw this together in just a matter of days. It was only 4 days, I think, with no advertising. So this is just merely a beta test, right? A regular webinar, maybe 50, 100 people. That's pretty good, right? You're maxing out webinars in the 250, 500 attendee range. Now, I mentioned those sessions, they can have 500 attendees, which is a lot. The main stage is capable of handling not 250, not 500, not 1,000, not 10,000, 100,000 attendees all at once, all right? So this is a very serious platform, okay? Also, the other thing, the vendors area, and this is one of the coolest things, to me anyway, that it offers. A lot of times people miss out on all the cool stuff that they can get live in person because they can't get into the vendor's room, the expo area. But here, check it out. You can go to the expo area over there to the left. We do have a couple vendor booths set up. These are not all the vendors we have lined up. There's a bunch more that we are waiting back on some more information so we can get them into the system and have their booths online for you. And also sponsors, who I should mention, now that we're back from the intermission, this entire show has been brought to you today by some incredible people, all the backers of our All Access Con campaign on Indiegogo, but especially our sponsors. Mystery sponsor number one, we're not going to reveal them just yet. When they're ready, they will make an appearance. And also Lynn Hansen Art. And some of you might know Lynn Hansen from all of her work as a cover artist. She does some incredible work. I own some prints of hers myself at home, not here at the beach. Although, now that I think about it, maybe I ought to swing by Lynn's website and pick up some stuff for the beach house here too, myself. So definitely check out our sponsors later after the presentation is over. Show them some love because they've been our biggest financial supporters here. So this is what we're doing currently. This is what we're capable of. But what are some of our goals? Our goals with All Access Con. Well, our campaign is still alive. It's only been going for 7.5 days. And we're 77% funded in that time, close to 100% funded. And I think we're going to hit that very soon. And then we'll be talking about stretch goals, all the things we can accomplish and improve for the general public with our stretch goals. What are we going to do with that? Well, we want to hold industry conferences. We want to have online film festivals. We want to do fan conventions. We want to do virtual summits. We want to do academic conferences and more, all right? And throughout all this, we're going to do paid events. It is a business after all. We want to do them for a cheaper, much lower price point than what you would pay going to in-person events, industry conferences, that sort of thing, for the weekend. We also are going to offer on a regular basis events like this, free online events, either one-day affairs or even up to 2 or 3 days, okay? Again, it's about having all access, making things available to people worldwide. Speaking of worldwide, one of the features that is about to be introduced in early 2020, first quarter, second quarter 2020, massive translation capabilities. All right, so that's coming. This system is being improved all the time. Just yesterday, massive new vendor features added to make things better for the vendors and much cooler for you as an audience interacting with the vendors. So they're doing things all the time. For instance, if you're attending on a mobile device, that's not something you could have done a week and a half ago. That's a brand new feature. All right. Previously, it was just a laptop only experience or desktop only experience. So the system and its designers, it's completely evolving all the time. And on our end, as the All Access Con company, we're going to continue providing standalone events. We're going to do events in partnership with other companies. And one thing that we're really excited about is the possibility of cooperating with in-person events that are going to be happening and bringing them to you online. Think of just some of the conventions that you know and love, but don't get to go to all the time. Well, those are the people we're looking at. And in fact, we are in talks with a few organizations right now, kind of behind the scenes and stuff. We've been in touch with some folks, and I'm hoping to have some good news for you very soon. But in the meantime, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about more real world impacts of your support for All Access or the support of people that you know. One thing that is, maybe evident, maybe not. This is not a professional camera. This is just my built-in camera on my computer. I'm not using a professional microphone. This is just the microphone on my computer. We will have all sorts of production equipment that we'll be acquiring to bring you the best possible experience. Right now, this is, in fact, merely a beta test. So this is like the least of what you would get out of the online virtual summit experience with us. We will be having some other guests. It's not just going to be me out here mugging in front of the camera week after week. We are also in talk with some special guests, and we will be able to make some announcements about that soon as well. We're looking to have our first official event launch in December. Okay, this is all happening very rapidly. A week ago, this is just something that I threw out there just to see what the interest would be. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of interest. It was totally unplanned. We could have reached many more people and gotten many more donations if we had done what you're supposed to do, plan things out for months and have a promotion strategy in place and, get some people on retainer for publicity. We didn't do any of that. This has all been just pure word of mouth crowdfunding. Thank you so much, everyone who has supported already. I think we'll be doing some great things together here. All right. And what are those things? Other than just like, oh, we're going to have this event, we're going to have that event. What would you like to see? What would you like us to do? What would you like for yourself? We hope that we can provide transformations. Transformations via the Broadkill Resort, empowering people to make the most of their interests in their writing or in a career as an author, publishing professional. And for those who want to do that in person and give their writing a boost before the holidays hit full force here at the end of the year, there are still 2 rooms left in the writing retreat if you want to come on location with us. But hey, you know, if you can't afford writing retreats, especially retreats with us, hey, you know what? Good. Why am I saying good? Well, here's how you can join us. How you can join us for life. You know, while Broadkill is in a remote area, beautiful but remote, on the coast in the middle of a nature reserve, you probably can't get here to join us. That's part of why we launched the All Access Con initiative. It's been disappointing over the years to provide retreats first at Bourbon Ridge in Ohio, and then finally when we secured our own location here at Broadkill Beach in Delaware, that there are so many geographic restrictions, monetary restrictions for people, so many barriers to entry. And we would run crowdfunding campaigns to pay for extra attendees to come in because we knew that there were deserving people who couldn't make it. And you know, some of whom you might know from online, like the author of, I guess, about 20 books now, Jessica McHugh. She was one of our first recipients back at one of the Bourbon Ridge retreats in December of 2014. And other crowdfunding campaigns that we've done for people to attend our retreats. And it's great to help individuals. It feels really good. But what if we can help everyone? You know, that's what All Access is about. So you can attend these Broadkill Resort writing retreats online with a simple donation that will secure lifetime benefits for you. Just a simple $20 even gets you the basic attendee membership for any public event we do from now on. You can see the details at bit.ly/allaccesscon. That is bit.ly/allaccesscon. Or if you want extra bonuses, we have the VIP attendee membership for life, all events that we're doing. And you've seen just in this week alone, we've done 2 beta tests for the public. We're already talking about events in December. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We'll be getting a lot of value in return for your early adopter status contributing to All Access Con. It's not the same, of course, as being here in person with me cooking you breakfast and supplying snacks and drinks and having our little chats out here by the fireside. We're going down to the beach just a block away, but it's doable. All you need to do is contribute to our campaign, and you can join us for these weekend retreats without having to go any farther than the closest, most comfortable and convenient place to relax with your internet connection. It's that easy. And, you know, again, thank you to everyone who has already done so. I think that covers all of the planned presentation. We do have a Q&A session now, and there have been some questions that have come in from online. With, let's see, I think Madeline Swan in England. If you know her writing, she does some really weird and really creepy, funny stuff. She wrote and asked, is there any advice on a fun thing a person can do to market a new book other than a giveaway? And in addition, to be, you know, open to take questions here from you in the chat. If you want to type up some questions and put them in the chat for me, I'll answer. Also, if you have suggestions for people, if you want to chime in, that's cool too. So, okay, fun things a person can do to market a new book other than a giveaway. Giveaways used to be a great feature, especially on sites like Goodreads and what have you. that since got taken over by companies that are geared towards selling things, and then giveaways weren't free anymore, and all these other things. And even the paid giveaways on Amazon, I think, have those are going away. While there are still free giveaways through a site like Library Thing, I would say just having, an online Q&A, which you can run yourself through something like YouTube. I've seen people do art contests, fan art contests. People designing their own cover for your book or drawing art of your characters, that sort of thing. There are a lot of different contests that you can have. Also, just like a live Twitter Q&A or Twitter event. And it could be anything. It could be a Twitter Q&A for wrong answers only. You could have movie trivia, all sorts of things. Something that just generates lots of an interactive experience with your audience. So that's what I'm thinking of off the top of my head. But I'm sure there'll be plenty more later on. So if you check out Malin Swan on Twitter, I recommend following her. You can find me, Bizarro Guy, on Twitter. I'll be answering her questions that she sent in. Also, let's see, what do we have here? How to still be productive during the holidays. Okay. Well, like I said, I think a lot of that comes back to the productivity techniques, mindset, writing habits I was talking about earlier. Sometimes that can be impossible, though. It can all get blown up by your kid is sick and your car breaks down and you have to be dealing with things at the repair shop and the in-laws are doing stuff and you've got all sorts of things, moving parts going on. And one thing I like to do is keep a writing implement in my pocket, or use the note function in my phone to just write things when I'm in line at the store, or just catching 30 seconds of time here and there between errands and tasks. I read about, I'm trying to remember this person's name. I think they were a French diplomat or government official back around in the 1700s, who wrote a best-selling novel, in 1700s France. I'm sure did not have a huge readership, but still a best-selling novel. Wrote it 10 minutes at a time. He was so busy, he only ever had 10 minutes free in his day between work and doing things with his family for the rest of the night. He'd have his 10 minutes right before dinner time, and he'd write by hand 10 minutes a day. Find what works for you, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. I know a guy who wrote at least his first 5 books, 2 paragraphs at a time. That's it. 2 paragraphs at a time. Now, he had a very minimalist style, so it didn't take a lot of writing to have a complete book. But yeah, 2 paragraphs at a time. You can do it. If you were around earlier on, you might have seen my logline suggestion. Even just putting down these log lines, boom, 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 for a few days before, during, after Thanksgiving, everybody's off. If you're doing log lines every time you get the chance, encapsulating whole conversations, scenes, chapters, books, by the time Monday or Tuesday rolls around after the holidays, you've got enough to work with for days or even weeks of writing, okay? You can get it done, okay? Let's see, another question we have here is, what's the importance of breaks for productivity? Okay, the importance of breaks for productivity. Okay, I was mentioning that Pomodoro technique where you work for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break, and that seems to be like the minimum your mind needs for refreshing after doing some intense concentration. There are other kinds of breaks that are also good. You want to have some distance, like I was talking about earlier with the writing mindset and the editing mindset. You've got to let your writing sit for a bit before you go and come to it with fresh eyes to edit it. Now, if you are paying a freelance editor, hey, you got money for that? Good for you. You can just fire it off to them and say, hey, this is just some raw stuff. Look at it and do your thing. And they'll probably charge you extra. Having said that, you definitely want to have breaks, space. Sometimes what's happening, and it's not just me who's found this, a lot of times something's percolating in the back of your head. You'll have thoughts relating to your work going on in your subconscious, and you realize, oh, that's what needed to happen there. That's what I forgot. That's what that character should have said, or that's why that scene isn't working. But only after you've walked away and you're doing other things, whether it's errands, you're cleaning up stuff, you're raking leaves in the yard, or you're trying to sleep at night. Of course, that's when it's going to strike, right? So yeah, your brain just needs to refresh, to recycle the thoughts, and figure things out. Now, I know a very celebrated innovator of fiction and professor, Lance Olson, who recommends when you complete a manuscript, you put it in a drawer and you let it sit for 6 months before you do anything with it. Anything at all. Now, a lot of us are not in a place where we can really do that. A lot of us really need to do something with our writing once it's done. We're under deadlines and commitments, that sort of thing. But, he has found that that's the amount of time it takes for him to really have the fresh eyes necessary for doing the improved, better final draft of the work, or seeing how final, maybe there are a lot of things that are, close to perfect in it already, or not perfect, but where it needs to be. So again, taking breaks, having that space in the creative process, it's very necessary at times. All right, very necessary. So I don't think I see any other questions coming in here. I did receive a question online about All Access Con relating to the vendors, if the vendors can also attend the events. And the answer is, to take advantage of all the vendor features, you kind of have to be in as an attendee. So yes, absolutely. You will be an attendee, especially at this point. If you're a vendor signing up in our campaign, you're a vendor for life. So that means you're also an attendee for life. So there's that also to consider. Speaking of which, if there are no other questions here, I will give people time to check out the expo area over to the side there, and also the networking sessions area, where you can, as I said, meet face-to-face with people. And, again, another word of warning, you do have to enable camera access, or else it will sort of boot you out of the networking area. But first, before we do that, again, unless any other questions are going to come in, before we do that, I want to talk about next steps. What are some things that we can do as next steps? Well, there is our next presentation in our series of webinars on ethics in publishing. If you were around yesterday, we were talking about, what was it? Oh, pay to play, expenditures and ethics in publishing. Basically, these submission requirements involve paying some sort of submission fee. And you can catch that archived over on YouTube now. What we're going to be talking about next is sweeping a dead body under the rug and then complaining that you're tripping. Harassment in the publishing industry. Now, I've spent the last couple weeks providing these webinars stemming from various incidents and outcries in our publishing community. Unfortunately, people, by dint of their actions and inactions, keep providing me with material to talk about. So that's what we'll be discussing next. You might have seen the breaking news this last day or two involving an editor and her treatment of an author that she was harassing. So that's what we'll be covering this next time around. You can tune in for that right here on this platform. And if you do that, you'll be the first to have access to our free 30-day course on how to be a better failure. That's right, 30 installments, all free. Join us for the third in our series of ethics and publishing webinars, brought to you again by All Access Con, and you'll get how to be a better failure in 30 days. The tickets are already set up. The event is already set up. You can get free tickets at this link that I'm going to drop into the chat here. I'm just going to copy this out for you. Okay. Boom. There you go. It looks like it's clickable. So yes, you can get your free ticket there to our discussion of harassment in the publishing industry. And before we go, one more link for you, and that is the All Access Con campaign. If you're interested in more information about or sharing it with people who you think might benefit from knowing about it, we appreciate it. And if you want to keep up to date on things with the Broadkill Writers Resort and All Access Con and our free events that we're having, I recommend you follow us on Facebook, Broadkill Writers Resort, Twitter at Broadkill Resort, and Instagram at Broadkill Resort. Okay? So thank you for joining us. We will see you out there on social media and hopefully at the next webinar on ethics in publishing. And now, like I said, we can go hang out, meet each other over in the networking area and check out the vendors. Okay? Don't forget to check out Lynn Hansen Art, our mystery sponsor #1. And hey, remember, go easy on yourselves. I think that might be the biggest secret to productivity that nobody tells you about. Don't stress out too bad, all right? Because then you'll freeze up. All right. Well, until next time, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for being here with us.